You're sitting at work and someone walks in wearing a jersey. Then another person. By lunch, half the office is talking about last night's match. The standings, some player's name you've heard 100 times, but still can't fully place. You nod. You smile. You say something vague like, yeah, crazy game, and hope nobody asks you a follow-up question. Because the truth is, you haven't watched a single minute. Not because you were busy, not because you missed it. You just didn't care. And in a country where the World Cup has taken over every TV, every bar, every group chat, every single conversation, that feeling of total indifference makes you feel like you're missing something everyone else got. That's not a character flaw. That's not you being difficult or cold or culturally disconnected. That's just how some people are wired. And there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than most people realize. The first thing about you is that you've never needed a team to feel like you belong somewhere. Most people attach to sports because it gives them a tribe. A ready-made group of people who share something, who celebrate together, who grieve together. That collective identity is powerful and real, but you've always found your belonging elsewhere. In your friend group, your creative work, your specific corner of the internet, the thing you love that maybe only 3 other people in your life fully understand. You don't need a jersey to feel connected. You've built your sense of belonging on something more personal, more specific than a sport. And that's not a gap in your life. It's just a different map to the same destination. And then there's the noise. You're someone who's very sensitive to overstimulation, even if you've never used that word for it. When something is everywhere, on every screen, in every conversation, impossible to escape. It doesn't pull you in, it pushes you away. The World Cup right now isn't just a tournament. It's a cultural event that has colonized every available space. The group chat, the office, the restaurant you walked into just trying to eat dinner quietly. Your Spotify is showing World Cup playlists. The gas station TV is showing highlights. For someone like you, that level of saturation doesn't create excitement. It creates a quiet kind of exhaustion. You're not against the thing itself. You're worn down by the relentlessness of it being everywhere you turn. What's harder to admit is that you've spent a lot of time pretending. Not lying exactly. More like performing a version of yourself that fits whatever room you're in. You've Googled match results at midnight not because you cared, but because you needed something to say at 9 a.m. You've laughed at a soccer reference you didn't fully understand. You've let people assume you watched when you didn't, because the alternative, explaining that you genuinely have no interest, felt like more trouble than it was worth. That performance is exhausting in a way that's hard to explain to someone who's never had to do it. And the World Cup season turns that performance from occasional to relentless, because there is no safe room to walk into right now where it isn't the topic. Here's something most people miss about you. Your attention works differently. You don't do passive consumption well. Sitting and watching something unfold in real time, waiting for a moment of payoff that may or may not come in a game whose rules feel arbitrary to you. That's not how your mind likes to spend its energy. You're someone who needs to be doing, making, thinking, building. Your brain is always running, always processing, and sports spectatorship asks you to sit still and invest emotionally in an outcome you have no control over. That's genuinely hard for a certain kind of mind. It's not impatience. It's not that you can't appreciate skill or effort. It's that your brain has a fundamentally different relationship with how it chooses to spend its focus and energy. The part nobody talks about is the guilt. Not because you did anything wrong, but because everyone around you is feeling something so strongly, so visibly, and you feel nothing. And when you feel nothing where others feel everything, it's very easy to start wondering if something is wrong with you. You sit in a bar during a match and watch people lose their minds over a goal, and you think, why can't I access that? Why doesn't this reach me the way it reaches them? Dr. Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan has studied how people process collective emotional experiences, and his work shows that individuals vary enormously in how much they're moved by shared social rituals. Some people are deeply wired for collective emotion. Others process feeling in more private, internal ways. Neither is broken. They're just different emotional architectures, and yours happens to be one that doesn't light up for a stadium. And then there's the way you process competition itself. You've never been someone who gets a rush from watching one side defeat another. Victory and defeat between strangers doesn't move your nervous system the way it moves other people's. Dr. Paul Ekman at UCSF has studied emotional contagion, the way emotions travel between people in a crowd, and found that some individuals are simply less susceptible to catching the emotional states of those around them. You don't catch the fever in the stadium. You watch it from behind glass, curious about it, but untouched by it. That's not coldness. It's not indifference to human experience. It's a different emotional immune system, one that requires something more personal, more directly connected to your own life, to actually move you. What's interesting about you is that you probably do have something you care about with the exact same intensity that other people care about sports. It might be a show, a band, a video game, a hobby, a niche community online that the rest of the world has never heard of. And when that thing gets a new season, a new album, a big moment, you feel exactly what the soccer fans feel right now watching their country play. You get it completely. You understand the obsession. You understand why people cry when their team loses. You're just not wired to share theirs. And you wish, sometimes, that they could understand that yours is just as real and just as valid, even if it doesn't come with a stadium and a national broadcast. The last thing, and this is the one that sits quietest inside you, is that you're a little tired of having to justify it. Tired of the raised eyebrows when you say you're not watching. Tired of, but it's the World Cup, said like. That changes something fundamental about who you are. Tired of being the odd one out in a conversation that will never fully include you, no matter how much you nod along. You're not asking anyone to stop caring. You don't want the excitement to disappear from the people who genuinely feel it. You just want it to be okay. Genuinely, completely okay. That you feel nothing when the final whistle blows. That your silence during the match isn't emptiness. It's just you, being exactly who you are. And here's what's worth sitting with. The World Cup happens every 4 years. For a month, it is the only thing in the world that seems to matter to everyone around you. And then it ends. The jerseys go back in the closet. The group chat goes quiet. The bars go back to normal. And you were never swept away by any of it. That kind of steadiness, the ability to stay grounded in who you are while a wave of collective energy moves through everyone around you, is actually rare. It takes a quiet confidence in your own internal world to not need what everyone else seems to need. You didn't miss the World Cup. You were just already home inside yourself. If this is you, drop a comment and tell me. What's the one thing you actually get obsessed about the way other people get obsessed about sports? I'd love to know. And if you want more videos that make you feel like someone finally gets how your brain works, subscribe, one video at a time.